Top of the morning to you once again, and welcome back to the Afia Morning Show. And of course, welcome to a brand new month, the first day of September 2025. Now, the Enugu State Forest Guard is set to strengthen community partnerships in forest protection through a series of stakeholder engagements starting tomorrow. To shed more light on this initiative, we have Dr. Akinbayo Olasoji, Commander of the Enugu State Forest Guard, and of course, a retired Deputy Commissioner of Police. Thank you for joining us, sir, and good morning.
Good morning, welcome.
Good morning to you. So first and foremost, we must commend your effort, your input so far in revitalizing the Forest Guard framework we have in the state. We're seeing a lot of improvements, more visibility, and that's a great one. So that's just saying good looking out to you, sir.
Thank you.
So let's start from the basics. We have so many security outfits in Nigeria, but sometimes roles are confused for each other. We don't know who does what, where people are to be, how collaboration is, how well do these security agencies work together to achieve the common goal of securing the people. So could you begin with telling us about the exact role of the Forest Guard and misconceptions in the practice?
The Forest Guard is meant basically to protect the forest. Inside the forest, community around the forest, and ensure that no criminal activities takes place within the forest. That area.
What about the misconceptions? Because lots of people, there's a thin line between one role and that of another agency. Could you tell us more about the misconceptions and really break down the role of the Forest Guard, how it's done in the forest?
You know, the misconception, well, we are all out to fight crime and criminality. The fact remains that the law gave the Forest Guard certain powers, which other agencies don't have. We are basically in charge of the forest, and what we do is that we collaborate with other agencies. We work with the police, we work with the DSS, we work with the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps. We work with them based on what the law says.
And what does the law say?
The law says we should do our work as is stipulated in the law. We can effect arrest, do preliminary investigation, and over to the police.
What are the incidents so far recorded in the forest in accordance with your duties?
Kidnapping, incidental rescue of kidnapped victims, herders and farmers clashes, we deal with that.
Okay, as a retired Deputy Police Commissioner, before taking up this role, what was a conviction, that you had, like, that this institution I'm going to head, that I have what it takes to do and know-how to, curtail the kidnapping and the clashes in the bushes and all?
As the Deputy Commissioner of Police Operation in Enugu State, it gives me a broad aspect of policing when it comes to operation. And during the course of my duty in Enugu State, when I came in 2022, there were some lapses, some things here, some things there. We brought in, when we were about going to the forest, we bring in these people. And the lapses we discovered during those periods is what we are correcting now. Because the Forest Guard, if the forest is safe, the society is safe.
What were some of the lapses that you discovered? I mean, you talked about lapses, and we started this conversation with commending you for what you've done so far. Tell us about those lapses.
Most of the work, I see it as a political appointment. Let's say to them, that is the money, salary they are being paid is being for them for their political role in campaigns and other things. But now we have changed it. Forest Guard duty is 24 hours duty. There must be a Forest Guard on duty at a particular point in time. And we have scheduled this duty. 8 hours for Team A, 8 hours for Team B, 8 hours for Team C. It goes around like that for 24 hours. And every point in time, you must see a Forest Guard inside the forest. We are not supposed to roam the street, except if invited by the Commissioner of Police.
Okay.
We are duty-bound to walk inside the forest, to curtail illegal mining, to curtail illegal logging, and ensure that our farmers are able to go to the farm safely and come back to their home.
It's great that you mentioned the duties of the Forest Guard. Now, how are the Forest Guard, of course, equipped with the tools, the equipment to carry on these duties? Because we did hear of a certain incident where I think a Forest Guard was complaining about just having a phone. I think this was some years ago, a phone to call for help. And, you know, how are they equipped to really carry out their duties in the forest?
We are fully armed. We are fully armed, and the governor has procured more arms for us. So now you see us, there's no way you see a forest guard on duty without being armed. We are fully armed to confront these menace inside the forest.
What kind of arms? Could you provide more clarity as to the kind of
No,
arms?
it's not to be mentioned to the public for security reasons.
Okay.
All right.
Well, critics argue that this kind of position is meant to be handled by some individual who is native and knows the terrain. You know, so what would you say to those arguments and critics that that this kind of position, you know, is meant to be handled by an individual who is native and knows the Enugu terrain?
I think the people trying to say that are trying to discredit the governor. The governor I work with knows that I know the terrain. The community that have encountered me, the traditional rulers, knows that I lead. Even when I was DC Ops, I lead, I confront. I don't step back when it comes to this issue. The terrain in Enugu State is in my hand. There's no part of the forest in Enugu that you want to tell me that I don't know. There's no cave that I've not entered. There's no illegal camp that I've not entered. We have encountered the so-called, I quote, ESN guys. You know, I don't have issue with anybody belonging to any organization. You can belong to anywhere. But the issue we'll fight here is crime and criminality. Where you are involved in kidnapping will face you. You are involved with people trying to sell out our farmlands to people. We should take them out and make sure they go to the correctional center.
You made mention of ESN, but when you look at ESN and Forest Guard, they seemingly look like is a tagged institution, like they carry out the same assignment, right? So what would you say about ESN activities in our bushes too?
I'm saying where the criminal activities are involved, we face it squarely. I'm not saying no, you should not belong to any organization, but where you are involved in crime, and the government is saying no. If you want to operate like that, come and join us. Let's legalize your activities. But for you to be kidnapping our people, you will come in the pretense that you are protecting them from others. Then you start taxing them, collecting money from them. That will not be tolerated.
Is ESN legal?
It's not legal.
So if anybody wants to join a framework, they should look at the Forest Guard
Yes,
as opposed to the
yes.
ESN. How long have you studied the Enugu terrain?
Since 2022. You know, my first trip to Enugu was in 2002, December. No, 2001. I came into Enugu in 2001. I left in 2003. So this is my third missionary journey in Enugu.
All right, that's great. So now, what does it take to become a forest guard? For people who perhaps want to decamp, no pun intended, decamp and join the Forest Guard from any other security network, how can they be a part of the State Forest Guard?
They must be from the community. They must come from a community, resident there. I don't want a situation where somebody is resident in Enugu. He will be employed to be forest guard in Igwetiti or in Ogu. Then when you call for emergency, he's now trying to take off from here. No, those things will not be tolerated. That's why we came up with this idea of eligibility, which is here. Eligibility in the sense that the age is between 20 and 45. Education qualification, first school living certificate. We are not going to take sworn affidavit. A lot of people are presenting sworn affidavits that our house caught fire, no police report. Every sworn affidavit is to be backed by police report that actually there was incident like that. And if you look at the labs, if you swear an affidavit, you are supposed to start processing the original paper to get to get the new one to supplement the one you've lost. But a lot of people, what we now discover, some people even use their brother's certificate. And you will not get them caught in between the lines. When the government, we did the screening, staff auditing, some people were using their wife's account to collect salary, using their brother's certificate. All those ones have been eased out. I expected that they should go on social media. Those that say, I don't know the terrain, should go on social media and say that I'm sacking their people. You don't come to a legal outfit with illegality.
Okay. What's your take on state policing? And with the establishment of Forest Guard, are we somehow inducting it indirectly?
Forest Guard is not new. Forest Guard has been in existence since 1899.
Well, it's becoming a thing now because we've been, hearing so many illegalities happening in our forests.
No. We focus more on key agencies like the police, the military.
But what's your take on state policing?
When we talk of state policing, it's going to come to be. It's coming to pass. In Lagos, what we have, the Lagos Neighborhood Watch is state policing embryo. What they are waiting for is for the National Assembly to pass the law. And this Forest Guard may now metamorphose into a state police, and the Forest Guard will be a department under the state police in Enugu State.
So it's safe to say that it's been indirectly adopted.
It will be inducted. It's been directly inducted because the traffic section in the MOT will still come into it.
All right. Now, just a quick follow-up to the earlier question. I mean, Oji asked the question, and you answered it, that you have spent since 2021, you've been in Enugu.
No, 2021, I left in 2020. 2021, I left in 2023.
Yes, so you've been in Enugu, you've studied Enugu for a couple of years.
Yes.
But you say that for someone to join the Forest Guard, the person must come from the community.
Yes.
Right. So what if the person, so to speak, has lived in that community for 5-6 years?
That will be determined by the community. We are telling the community, present somebody to us there. If the community, the Igwes, the Onowus, the PGs, the councillor, and the elders of that community present that person to us, we'll collect. But the only way we'll disqualify the person is when it comes to findings that the papers he presented are not his.
All right.
That is why we come up with, even if what we said is that no matter what you presented, selection does not mean final appointment.
Appointment, great. So you're saying that the person does not have to be an indigene of the community to join the Forest Guard, as long as the person is presented
by the community.
By the community. So what if the person is presented for political reasons?
Or disqualified.
How would you find out if it's a political reason?
We'll find out. That is why we are still going to do background check on each and every one of them.
Right. So you have to. So when you're doing the background check,
what we are trying to bring up now is that we are not trying to be messed up like what we had in 2020. It started in 2019.
Yes.
1,700 were recruited. Some people were security guard of some political appointees, some were drivers of political appointees. And this is what the governor, Peter Mba, said, I don't want. And that's why we are still doing continuous training. From 1,700, we have done auditing now, we have 1,381.
Okay, so in terms of the financials, I mean, things are hard. The economy is biting everybody. What's the average salary of a forest guard?
Minimum wage. We start with the minimum wage, then it goes up like that.
And can you state the exact figure?
18,000.
18,000. 80,000.
The minimum wage.
80,
that is for the lowest cadre.
Lowest cadre. I mean, that's quite impressive, judging by the economy. But now, these forest guards are in the forest on a daily basis, risking their lives. I mean, with the amount of clashes we see here and there, you mentioned it, farmer-header clashes, they are constantly in the line of fire. What mechanisms are in place to ensure that their lives are safeguarded while they're on the field? I know you don't want to go into the equipment they have, but what's in place to ensure that they do not act in isolation?
Well, the governor has procured bulletproof elements and bulletproof vests for us. which we are going to distribute. When they are inside the forest, there's what we call ration, which is given to them for them, it's aside their salary to be there. Then we have already trying to interview some insurance agencies. We want to get life insurance cover for this forest guard, for them to perform optimally. Then part of what the governor is putting in place, apart from the welfare insurance, hospital, then what we want is for people to be committed. We have designed a grading level where you step until you get to the director level. Until they get to my level now, somebody will take over from me as the commander. But they need to pass through this process, from rangers to forest inspector, forest assistant superintendent, till you get.
All right. Now, since we're on the subject of, basically increase, could you walk us through your background? Because some people might be seeing you here and they want to learn more about your background. Now that you're holding this great position, what's your background? Walk us through that.
Well, I'm a son of the soil. My mom is from Anambra State, Ogotu in Onitsha. I went into school. You know what we call Igba boy? Yes, I did Igba boy when we were in Alaba International Market. The old Alaba, before we moved to this current one. I still have my shops there, where, we started Igba boy for 4 years. Along the line, the man wanted to convert me to his accountant and this, instead of settling me as he settled others. We disagreed and I took off. I joined the police. Apart from that, my grandmother is from River State, so I'm a diversified Nigerian. If my father is from the Southwest, my father and my mother met in Enugu here.
Wow, that's great. That's
During
great
the Civil War.
That's great perspective.
That was how they were able to take my mother to Calabar. From Calabar, they flew her to Lagos. That's how we got to Lagos. And we decided to stay there.
Awesome.
That's great. Thank you.
I was a baby then.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you painted a picture of a baby then, right? Your baby then.
So let's put this in perspective, right? The forest is a very large, there are so many forests, right?
Yes.
So are they also, I don't know the attributes or technology applied in your institution to help for seamless integration and communication, since you can't be everywhere at the same time, right? Because when you talk about the forest, everywhere is a forest. Forest is large, is big. You can't contain, all the forest in Enugu State, from the rural, even some part of the urban, right? So are the technologies being applied for integrations and communication?
Yes, we are linked to the command and control center.
Oh yeah, nice.
There are cameras placed inside the forest. And aside from the cameras, we have gotten, aside from those in uniform, we have the farmers, we have the hunters that are working with us.
And they're
stakeholders,
yeah.
Yes, who gathers intelligence and send to us. When they see strange faces, they send to us immediately. We plan and move in there.
How do you apply or integrate those farmers and hunters to be given intel? Is this something they do seamlessly, or there's a part at the back at the end of the day?
There's a part at the back. You must pay for information. You must pay. Intelligence gathering is expensive. And there are things they will do for you that you should know that sometimes you need to just say, let me buy a card for you.
Right. Now, one of the mandates of the Forest Guard is to strengthen community intelligence to prevent illegal logging, kidnapping, and wildlife crimes. I'm sure this is going to come up during the stakeholder engagement.
Yes.
How ready is Enugu to provide this information? How ready are these individuals in the state ready to say, this person is cutting down trees illegally? This person, how prepared are people
We are
to
working
supply
on that already. The other time I was in a forest in Eziago, by the Alpha Road. We entered the forest. We met illegal loggers. I collected their equipment. I want to see your boss. Follow me. We came to Enugu here. So what we do from there is you keep your equipment. We want to see your papers. Then the Ministry of Environment needs to confirm that that paper is genuine. Because part of what they are taking belongs to every one of us. That wood you see in the bush that they take is supposed to be a source of revenue for the community and for the state. So they are stealing when they don't have papers, when they have not paid the government. And if what the law says specifically is that you are not supposed to even saw wood inside the forest. You are supposed to bring it out in a vehicle and take it to the sawmill.
Right.
But what we have discovered is that most of them have converted most of the forest to sawmill, and that will not be tolerated. And I've told them this. We will not tolerate it. If they think we are going after kidnappers alone, we are not going after kidnappers alone. We are going against those that are taking our resources, including illegal miners.
Okay.
All right, so let's talk about the agrarian communities in Enugu.
Yes.
Now, within the agrarian communities, those are the agricultural communities, the farm settlements, we see a lot of news, lots of information around farmer-header clashes, scaring farmers away from their lands. Some of them have now been sacked entirely to move to other communities, now living as IDPs. What is your appreciation of the security concerns in some agrarian communities, such as Isiuzo, Uzuwani, that we always hear of something or another every once in a while? I mean, what's your
Without
take?
apology to anybody, we have made mistakes. I'm telling you the truth. Take Kosovo, for instance. The elders came in as Albanians. The Serbians are the original owners of the land. Today, Serbians does not have a say. The prime minister is always an Albanian because they are in the majority. Some of our traditional rulers, some of our family members have sold the land to the Fulanis. And that is why the government is saying, we'll pay you back. When the issue started, they collected money. We called the Guru government, said we should. The others with them, let them come and collect their money. They ran away to Taraba. They ran away to Benue.
Who ran away exactly?
The occupant there. And what we discovered later, they married our sisters. Our sisters are part of their wives. So they are entering us gradually. But we should have limit to those we give our land to. The Fulani community, I had a meeting with them, and I told them to their face, I know that you people have divided Enugu among yourself. Abudulai, in Agbani, in Akpugo, will not go to Nara to grace. Abubakar, that is in Uzowani, will not come to Ezeagu. Laulu, that is in Ezeagu, will not enter Udi. You see how they've shared our land among themselves, that this is why I grace, this is why I grace. But we need to curb this thing. That is why the ranching law needs to be implemented. Because if you go abroad, there's a ranching where you go get your feed them. The open grazing law is there to be effected. And I've told them, I invited them to a meeting, and I told them I will not tolerate it. I will guarantee you that if anybody kills your cow, the person will pay. But you must follow the law. I'm not going to respect anybody. You have known me for the few years I've spent in Enugu. I don't compromise. Go and Google my name on the internet, and you will see the kind of character that I am. So if I'm going to face this, I'm ready to face it. It is not that because whether you've been known to me does not mean I will not do my job. My job is my job. My integrity is my integrity. We will not tolerate where you come and graze on people's farm produce and you go scot-free. You pay for what the farmers are demanding.
I mean, very boldly stated, very bold. I mean, I just have to mention this, Oji, the fearlessness, the boldness. And I like as you're calling black white. You are calling out the issues without any politicking. I mean, this is admirable, and I must tell you, sir, I must mention that.
I see the reason why you attain the heights, you know, at this point in time, and also the governor seeing that in you and all that. But I want to ask this question, right? So after that conversation, we still hear these atrocities still happening now in our farms and some of our villages in the hinterland, right?
No, it has reduced since I had a meeting with them 3 weeks ago.
Oh, this
right.
was
Walk
3
us,
weeks
walk
ago.
us through that engagement. That's new information. Walk us through that engagement.
What?
The 3 weeks ago engagement.
Yes.
Walk us through the meeting and the fallout
because
of the meeting.
I felt, let me engage them before I start enforcing the law on them. Let them know there exist 3 laws in Enugu State. The Forest Guard law, the open grazing law, and the ranching law, which the government has started documenting them and telling them this is where you restrict yourself. But if you leave those areas and you come, if I don't charge you for malicious damage, except if the farmer said, okay, we've collected money, or gonna leave this matter. You know, for you to prosecute, you need the witness. And if the witness is telling you they have paid me, there's nothing, which means we are now using alternative dispute resolution, but you must pay for those damages. What
you're saying now is that some of these farmers, traditional rulers, may be compromised in selling plots of land to these Fulanis. So where are the
I will give you an instance. I don't want to mention the community. We almost have an issue in Ogo of recent. A community collected 60 million for land from the Fulanis. Collected 7 million for survey. They came to the land. But the land you are giving to them, you don't have right. The people that sold don't have right to sell to them.
So there are individuals within the communities carrying out dealings with some of these Fulanis.
Very well.
At the expense of other members of the community.
And some even collect cows to do their parties.
So where are the consequences? What's the consequence of
We are coming after them because I've told them, if what you've done in the past, they say they've forgiven you. Me, before I forgive you, you will get to that correctional center first.
Okay, let's speak about the E3 initiative, the engagement, empowerment, and enforcement. Can you explain how this is going to transform the Forest Guard in practice?
We want a seamless recruitment that will involve everybody. Are you getting me? We want people that are committed, that want to do the job. We don't want to see people that felt there's no job outside, let's just take this one. We want those that, where it pitches them, they are ready to work and protect their land.
And thus far, are you getting positive results?
Yes, even some neighborhood watch guys who work with me, they want to join the Forest Guard.
Yeah, nice.
I truly am impressed at all we've heard on the program. I like that you're calling out things the way they are. I like that you're saying this without politic, and I like that you're calling issues what they are. So I think it would be a great benefit to Enugu to be a part of this forthcoming stakeholder engagement. We're meant to understand it's starting tomorrow.
It's starting tomorrow.
So could you walk us through the modalities for that, and hopefully we see this same energy reflected at each of them?
You know, when I had meeting with the traditional rulers, I told them pop and plain what we have come to do. You are traditional rulers. You are custodian of tradition and culture of the land. How will we say that one of you is involved in betrayal of his people? They're all looking at me. And I told them, this is a cause. This is Nigeria. Everybody has rights to get land and this thing. But there are some places that are restricted. There are some places that are meant to be for farming. Which, look at what they went to Brazil to do. I've been to that Brazil. I've been to their farm because I intend starting a fish farm. I've been to the sugarcane plantation if you go to their sugarcane plantation, they bring in their sugarcane plantation. When they finish what they are doing, they use the waste to generate power. This is where we are going in Enugu, because the governor on Saturday just gave us some equipment. And he has said, all these things must be protected. We want people to, who feel the pains that we must reach this mark. Before, in the early 60s, Malaysia took our oil. They started it. Now, Chinese are bringing egusi to us. We are losing it. They take our wood from here, go to China, bring furniture, we buy costly. This is the things we are looking at. That is why we want people from that community to be involved. That's why we call it eligibility.
All right.
Yes, that is what I said about the eligibility requirement for Enugu State. That's what you would refer to as the E3. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because we want it for people who has the will to do what the law says, not those that will compromise like Judas Iscariot.
That's right. Now lots of biblical references in Enugu of late. Yeah. We've heard Saul to Paul, and now we're hearing Judas. All right, so we're out of time, okay? We're out of time, but tell us the modalities, how people can participate in the engagements. The hall is open to everybody. When, in as much as how? You are from that senatorial district. One, we are meeting in Kano West, the hall in the local government. We are using it. The traditional rulers, the councillors, the women leaders, the Christian association. As long as you are a stakeholder and you are one of those that want to help us to fight insecurity, you are invited. We deliberate, and there, from what we discussed there will be some action to be drawn from there. Then we move to Nsukka on Wednesday. The same thing, the chairman is hosting us, along with other chairmen. The same thing we are going to Ogo. So we don't want to be just announced on radio that we are doing recruitment. We want people to know the modalities, and we have provided the forms here where the local government chairman will sign. The applicant will swear an oath that all the documents they are given to us are genuine. There will be a guarantor. There will be a medical examination. Traditional ruler will sign. Prime Minister Onowu will sign. President General will sign that this person is from here. So a whole lot of modalities, and just to make sure that, but I admire your tenacity and doggedness. Beyond being from here, because you mentioned from here, I mean, I'm sure there are other things that the paper is trying to validate beyond being from here. Yes. What are those? Your credibility, your integrity. We don't want betrayers among us. On that note, to draw the curtains on this segment, thank you so much for joining us on the show this morning. I wish you the best of luck in your other engagements. Now, of course, you can all be a part of that. And the big question we would leave this with is Enugu State Forest Guard about to wear a new look? We'll find out in the coming months. The monitor returns shortly as we bring you insights on how we can support indigent patients, focusing on University of Nigeria Teaching Hospital, Ituku Ozara. Stay with us.